The three strikes law in California is something that you always have to keep in mind as a criminal defense attorney. It matters if the current charge is a strike that my client is charged with, and it matters if my client ever had any previous strikes on his record and is now being charged with a current felony. If someone picks up a strike in California and has a strike charge on their record, the consequences of that in terms of future felony sentencing are dramatic. So what are strikes? Strikes are charges that are either serious felonies or violent felonies. If somebody is charged and is convicted of a strike offense, that charge will stay with them as a strike and will enhance future felonies for the rest of that person's life. And the consequences are very serious. What a strike does is any new felony that a client picks up, the sentencing will be doubled. So if a client is facing a charge with a normal sentencing range between 2 and 4 years, the strike doubles that. Now it's 4 to 6 years, or 4 to 8 years, I'm sorry. Also, if the client picks up a new strike charge and has a previous strike charge, there could be a 5-year enhancement in addition to the doubling of the charges. So having a prior strike can take a charge and take the sentencing and bring it maybe 3 to 4 times of what it is. So when I'm defending a client who is facing a current strike charge, my goal, if possible, is to try to get them to plead to a charge that will not be a strike on their record. And there are some charges that are very similar to other charges where I can bargain with the district attorney and my client can take a plea to a non-strike offense. And that means that it will not have implications for the client going forward. If I'm representing a client who has a previous strike and now is facing an enhanced sentence because of that previous strike, one thing that I can do is file what's called a Romero motion, or a motion to strike the previous strike. In other words, have the judge remove that strike from the client's current consideration. In order to do that, I have to convince the judge that the previous strike and the current charge are so far out of the 3 strikes scheme, do not fall within the 3 strikes law, that it should not be considered. Typically, we do this by showing there's been a long length of time between the offenses, by getting the police reports on the strike charge and showing maybe it's not as serious as the district attorney has said, and by showing that my client has rehabilitated himself during the time between when he picked up these charges. By doing that, we can sometimes dramatically change the sentencing options that my clients face and save them from spending years in prison.